Saint Augustine, the Harmony of the Gospels, Book 2, Chapter 12, following, number 29. With respect then to those comparisons which I have instituted between the several narratives of the evangelists, what do these present that must be considered to be of a contradictory order? Are we to regard in this light the circumstance that one of them has given us the words, "Whose shoes I am not worthy to bear," whereas the others speak of the unloosing of the latchet of the shoe? For here indeed the difference seems to be neither in the mere words, nor in the order of the words, nor in any matter of simple phraseology, but in the actual matter of fact, when in the one case the bearing of the shoe is mentioned, and in the other the unloosing of the shoe's latchet. Quite fairly, therefore, may the question be put as to what it was that John declared himself unworthy to do, whether to bear the shoes or to unloose the shoe's latchet. For if only the one of these two sentences was uttered by him, then that evangelist will appear to have given the correct narrative, who was in a position to record what was said, while the writer who has given the saying in another form, although he may not indeed have offered an intentionally false account of it, may at any rate be taken to have made a slip of memory, and will be reckoned thus to have stated one thing instead of another. It is only seemly, however, that no charge of absolute unveracity should be laid against the evangelist, and that too not only with regard to that kind of unveracity which comes by the positive telling of what is false, but also with regard to that which arises through forgetfulness. Therefore, if it is pertinent to the matter to deduce one sense from the words to bear the shoes, and another sense from the words to unloose the shoe's latchet, what will one suppose the correct interpretation to be on the facts, but that John did give utterance to both these sentences, either on two different occasions or in one and the same connection? For he might very well have expressed himself thus, "Whose shoes latchet I am not worthy to unloose," and "Whose shoes I am not worthy to bear." And then one of the evangelists may have reproduced the one portion of the same, and the rest of them the other, while, notwithstanding this, all of them have really given a veracious narrative. But further, if when he spoke of the shoes of the Lord, John meant nothing more than to convey the idea of his supremacy and his own lowliness, then whichever of the two sayings may have actually been uttered by him, whether that regarding the unloosing of the latchet of the shoes, or that respecting the bearing of the shoes, the self-same sense is still correctly preserved by any writer who, while making mention of the shoes in words of his own, has expressed at the same time the same idea of lowliness, and thus has not made any departure from the real mind of the person of whom he writes. It is therefore a useful principle, and one particularly worthy of being borne in mind, when we are speaking of the concord of the evangelists, that there is no divergence to be supposed from truth, even when they introduce something different from what was actually uttered by the person concerning whom the narrative is given. Provided that, notwithstanding this, they set forth as his mind precisely what is also so conveyed by that one among them who reproduces the words as they were literally spoken. For thus we learn the salutary lesson that our aim should be nothing else than to ascertain what is the mind and intention of the person who speaks.